All right, Brandon London hanging out at Radio Row with our New York Post NFL reporter, Ryan Dunleavy. First and foremost, you've been here for a couple days now. Take us through the chaos that they call Radio Row in Super Bowl week.
It's hot. Yeah. It's hot. I brought too much long sleeve stuff. And yeah, it's the same as every Super Bowl week. Total chaos, biggest stories, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes.
All right, let's get on that Saquon Barkley storyline because obviously it's hotter than the weather down here. You covered Saquon for a long time. You guys got a great relationship. What's something we're missing with this Saquon storyline or something new heading into Sunday?
Well, he actually revealed how close he was to something I knew, and I reported before the NFC Championship game that other teams, how close he was to signing with other teams that weren't the Eagles. He told people here that it was the Bears. I knew that. That he, almost didn't end up on the Eagles, and like how different the NFL would be this year if Saquon Barkley had picked the Bears or some of the other teams that made him an offer when the Giants didn't.
We talk about if this is the best or greatest free agent signing in the history of the NFL. If the Eagles do win this Super Bowl, would that cement that signing as the greatest free agency signing in the history of the league?
No, I did. I ranked a top 10, actually. I don't know when that's running in the post, but I ranked a top 10. Yeah. I think I put Saquon 5th, and I actually had Zach Bond 10th. That's how good I think the Eagles' offense was. But I think you got to save the top 10 spots for quarterback. Tom Brady was a free agent, won a Super Bowl right away with the Bucs. Peyton Manning won one with the Broncos. Drew Brees won one with the Saints. It's always the quarterbacks at the top of the list, but he might be the number one non-quarterback free agent signing of all time.
We look at the caliber of players that's on this roster playing in this game on Sunday. Let's bring it back to the New York side of things. How far are the Giants and the Jets when it comes to putting a roster together that can compete with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs?
2 miles, 3 miles maybe away, far away, Brandon. I mean, the Giants have 3 players that are Dexter Lawrence, Malik Neighbors, and Andrew Thomas that would maybe be in the top 15 on the Eagles or Chiefs. So they're a long way, which is not good when you're in the 4th year of your regime. The Jets are starting over. They have a lot of talent, but you have no idea who the quarterback is, if they're going to keep Aaron Rodgers. They're a long way away. They got to get back to, both those teams got to get back to just serious December games and playoff football before you can even think about the Super Bowl. It's crazy how different the Giants roster is than it was 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs.
I got a chance to kind of not talk to Shador. I got a chance to talk at him. He had a whole entourage around him. Which team does he have a better chance of landing at, the Giants or the Jets?
I'll be surprised right now if Shador Sanders isn't the next Giants quarterback. Okay. I mean, that's who I think they'd had their eye on all along. I think when push comes to shove, the Giants will get him through hell or high water if that means trading up to the highest available pick, whether that's 1, whether that's 2. If they do good recon and they know those teams are looking at Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, maybe he falls to them at 3, like Matt Ryan was actually the 3rd pick in a draft behind 2 non-quarterbacks. So it is possible, but I think when push comes to shove, it'll be Shador Sanders.
Everyone wonders if he could handle a New York fan base or the New York media. Your media, we've done our recon on him as well. This kid looked like he's built for the bright lights. Do you think that he has the temperament, the moxie to be able to handle what can be thrown his way from the fan base and from the media?
I think when you're Deion Sanders' son, you're used to being in the spotlight. I actually think he would handle that better than most guys I have questions about coming in. I actually was super impressed with Malik Neighbors and the way he handled it. There was rumors like, was he going to be mature enough to handle it? And I thought he handled it. He was honest when it needed to be honest, and he was team friendly when he needed to be team friendly. So no, I think from a media coming in, I don't think the Giants need another Daniel Jones, Eli Manning clone, doesn't say anything, no emotion. I think this Giants team, where it is right now, they need passion. Kayvon showed some the other day saying he hates the Cowboys. They need that from the quarterback position. I think both Shador Sanders and Cam Ward would give them that.
Glad you mentioned Kayvon. They haven't picked up that 5th-year option. What are you hearing in terms of them picking that up? And would you say this is a pressure year for him regardless?
Oh, I think it's a huge year for Kayvon Thibodeau. It is for most guys entering their 4th year in their NFL. They have till May to pick up that option. Look, I think they'll pick it up. I think, as we've learned, Joe Shane is not one to rally around his guys and maybe not inherited guys, and he believes strongly in positional value. Edge rusher is a positional value position. I think for sure that Joe Shane will want to double down on his first ever draft pick, the number 5 pick, and say, look, Kayvon Thibodeau has brighter days ahead. They'll also have a decision on Evan Neal. I think that one's pretty cut and dry. I think that one will get rejected.
Lastly, there's always some sort of huge shakeup in free agency. It can happen within the Giants as well. What could that shakeup look like? That move, that trade, that's something that no one saw coming.
I mean, they need a number 1 corner. They need a number 1 corner. We all talk about quarterback. They need a number 1 corner pretty badly. I think they need a number 2 receiver. Malik Neighbors created some buzz the other day talking to T. Higgins on a Zoom call. They don't need a number 1 receiver. They need a number 2 receiver because I think Darius Slayton's going to walk. Yeah. I'd be interested how Malik Neighbors feels about adding another high-quality receiver. Like, could the Giants have, with Neighbors and a Higgins, like a Hill and Waddle, or like a Chase and Higgins? Like, that would be pretty damn impressive. I think that, and then offensive guard, I think Trey Smith is a guy playing in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Every team in the NFL is going to want him. The Giants got him at right guard, all of a sudden you're talking about a top half of the NFL offensive line, which they haven't had in 20 years, 15 years.
Any other players playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday that are up for free agency that the Giants could possibly target?
Carson Wentz is a guy. I might not play in the Super Bowl, but they're going to need a veteran caretaker quarterback for whoever their rookie is. Carson Wentz is a guy people have mentioned to me as, could he do the Sam Darnold thing? Yeah. It's not crazy. He's had good coaching from Andy Reid and Sean McVay the last couple years, and he was a high-level quarterback at one point in the NFL. He's a guy. Trey Smith, I mentioned. There's receivers that make sense for both the Jets and the Giants, whether it's Hollywood Brown or DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, 2 guys at very different stages of their careers. And then there's a defensive tackle on the Eagles, Milton Williams. Makes sense for Giants and Jets. Both teams need to improve their run defense a lot, and he's an interior defensive lineman.
All right, Ryan, thanks for talking with us. Now we got to go to a Gucci store to get you some more short sleeve shirts. All right, thanks for hanging out with the New York Post Sports, guys.